everybody, this is Angela Savage, the daughter of IndyCar driver Swede Savage. It's time to watch stories from motorsports. My buddy, Doug Kenny, loves to share the journey of people in racing, and he is an amazing dude. Drivers, owners, fans, and team members, watch the SFM podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for convincing me to get back into it after my hiatus from 2017 to 2019. I have a very special treat for you all today with an amazing journey from an amazing racing figure. Drivers, start your engines.
After the ARCA deal in 2006, didn't really have too much going, and I had a mutual friend that was really quite good personal friends with the general manager of the Bill Davis truck team, so had a strong inside connection. And in a nutshell, they started that season with Tyler Walker as the third driver, along with Johnny Benson and Mike Skinner. But I don't know if you remember, Tyler Walker got busted for drugs at the Charlotte race that May of that year, and so they were in need of making a driver's change quickly, and I was just kind of had the right people, talking to the right people at the exact right time, and was able to kind of jump right into that opportunity. It was very sudden, no testing, really no preparation. And jumped in. I believe I jumped into a 5-race stretch, meaning I know my first race was Mansfield, Ohio, and the Truck Series had 5 races in a row, 5 weeks back to back. There was no off weeks, so I got thrown right into the firestorm there.
Got it. What were your thoughts when Brad Keselowski almost won the race where you won pole at?
So I think the race you're talking about is the Memphis race that year, and that was the race I think before Kentucky.
Oh wait.
And that was the race where Brad, I believe, was battling with Travis Quapple hard for the win, or he was leading, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he got spun. Basically, he should have won, and I think he got spun, and I was actually remember seeing that I was in 6th place, I think, in that race, kind of a few cars back. You could kind of see the action going on with the 2 lead trucks up there. But anyway, he filled in for Ted Musgrave that race, because Ted Musgrave had got suspended the race before at Milwaukee because he intentionally, I think, wrecked Kelly Byers under yellow. And so Brad got that one race opportunity and almost won, and caught the eye of Junior Motorsports at the time, and pretty sure that led to him getting an opportunity to drive the at the time it was called Nationwide, I believe, now current Xfinity Series car, and that's kind of what jump-started Brad's career. And then the next race after that was when I got the pole at Kentucky, so I believe that's the order of events that happened that year.
What was winning your first pole like?
That was really actually very unexpected. That weekend we were not good in practice at all, and we kind of hit on some stuff at the end of practice where we made some gains in the last 15 minutes of practice. It still didn't really end up super high on the practice sheets. So Doug Wolcott, my crew chief at the time, he just made some more changes overnight in that same direction. Just hoping it would translate to qualifying, and it did. Just went out and just ran, like any qualifying, you just run as hard as you can. You don't really know what the time's going to be till you complete the lap. But it felt pretty good. But honestly, didn't really know it was going to be fast enough to get pole, because my teammate Mike Skinner that year, if you remember, he was a really dominant driver, especially in qualifying. He got 10 poles that year, and there was only 24, 25 races. So he got like half the races he was on pole. So just to out-qualify him was a feat in itself. So yeah, it was really exciting and completely unexpected.
Yeah, for sure. When you got the offer from Bobby Hamilton's team to drive for them, was there a low key since he had passed away months before?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot to mention that. So the team was operating pretty well. They were kind of doing that was the Ford truck was a factory back Dodge effort that year, and they were kind of doing it with a variety, I think 3 or 4 different drivers. Mike Bliss, I believe, was kind of their primary driver, but he did have a conflict because he was also moonlighting in the Xfinity Series. So I'm pretty sure he had to run an Xfinity race he was committed to that one weekend, and so they kind of tapped me to run the Atlanta race because I was out of the Bill Davis truck at that time. And but no, there wasn't. They were in good spirits, and they say it was near the end of the year, so they had been racing a while after his passing. But the team was a good team and operating really well, and just everybody there was just focused on racing. There wasn't really much talk of anything else.
I see what you mean. How would you describe the 2007 Truck Series overall for you as an experience?
It was definitely quite a rowdy experience. Like I said, it was still the era of kind of what I call, all the old school guys were still there. Hornaday was in his prime in the Harvick truck, and Harvick, was a powerhouse team at that time, and he had Bill Davis Racing that I was part of was another big powerhouse team with Mike Skinner and Johnny Benson, 2 old school hard racers. I mean, all these guys that were in the Truck Series at the beginning, and then went on to have fairly successful Cup careers, and then they had come back to the Truck Series at the end of the career. So these guys, all had tons of Cup racing experience. Just really hard racers, and they were all from the old school crowd. They raced in the 90s, with Earnhardt and all those guys, and it was just I think I kind of caught the end of the old style of NASCAR as far as how people acted, drivers, crew chiefs, even team owners and everything, time compared to how it is now. It was pretty rowdy on and off the track, I can tell you that.
Yeah, 2007 was actually the year when I got hooked to it because I found my childhood hero, Jamie McMurray, through the newspapers. Through the newspapers when he narrowly beat Kyle Busch at Daytona. That's what got me hooked.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah, I've always believed from looking over the years that was when NASCAR was at its pinnacle.
Yeah, it's an interesting year. If you think of 2007, it was the transition year. If you remember, half the Cup races were run with the is what we call the original car, and then some of the short tracks, they debuted the car Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And as we all know, I think the car Tomorrow was sort of the beginning of the sport peaking and kind of going the other way. But I do know 07 was kind of that transition year. It was the last year of running, the original old style Cup car, which they ran at most of the races that year.
Yeah, and then you had guys like the Road Ringers being highly competitive, like Ron Fellows and Boris Said almost winning Daytona one year. That was impressive.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I said I was only in the Truck Series and Truck Garage, but it was just a lot of, Tony Stewart was in his prime still, Jeff Gordon, and so you would see those guys walking around the pit area, over by the Cup Garage, and it was neat to be part of it. Of course, didn't think much of it at the time, just totally focused on, my own little program, just trying to do the best I could where I was, and wasn't really too worried about, what other people were doing. But now looking back on it, was cool to be there, during that era.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe if you did so, and please continue supporting our amazing guest. And everybody, we'll see you next time on SFM.
Hi, this is Ted Warner speaking. While the checkered flag is waved for this program, stay tuned for next week for the next episode of SFM. Thanks to Doug Kenny for what he does for motorsports.